Here we go. It's thinking about going live.
Shows it's live and doing a countdown for me.
Dude, I don't know. Did it show it's going live for you?
Yeah, it says live 30 seconds into it already.
Mine does not. All right.
Are we on YouTube right now?
Yeah.
Let me check. See if we're...
I don't know what's going on with this. Oh, there we go. Here we are. We're live, brother. At least on mine. Yeah, we were live for a little while. I think my internet's just slow.
Yep, we sure are. Okay.
All right, here we go. Didn't play the intro again. That happened the second time in a row, so we're just going into it. And Doug says yes, he can see and hear us. Thanks, Doug. Thanks for
gotta love technical difficulties. You know,
that's twice in a row, brother. But let's get into this. We are here. Welcome in, Buckeye backers. It has been a long week. I almost don't have a voice, so bear with me for a little bit, and we will get into this game because Ohio State travels again going on the road in the Big Ten to kind of a hostile environment. I mean, Illinois is not known for being crazy hostile, but the wind, it's like a tunnel there. It can get nasty. I actually haven't checked the weather, but it's a noon game, 11 o'clock kickoff local time. So I doubt the wind's going to be too much of a factor. It's been pretty nice lately in Champaign, but I don't know what it's going to be like now. Have you checked the weather lately?
I have not, but I can.
Yeah, Google that. We'll get into it. I just want to, talk one thing, the Illabuck, it is a rivalry trophy, but you can't really think of this as a rivalry game anymore. I mean, they play once every 10 years sometimes almost. So, yeah, Ryan Day played them when he was the offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm. And that was at home, right? That was when it started torrential downpouring, and they took JT out of the game because we were so far ahead, and then they put Haskins in, and he didn't play so hot, so they put JT back in again because Illinois was coming back a little.
What did he do?
I think he fumbled. Yeah.
I think he fumbled. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they put JT right back in. That
says it's going to be sunny Saturday.
Yeah.
So no, maybe some wind, but that's about it.
I wouldn't worry too much about it, but Illinois is selling out games now. I mean, they were expecting to have one of the best seasons ever until they got just absolutely thumped. 68 for kickoff light win. There we go. AZ Buckeye in the house.
And notice the narrative already shaping up because, anytime Ohio State beats a team that everybody says is going to upset them, they become a not good team. Well, the narrative already is, well, if Ohio State doesn't beat them worse than 63-10, Ohio State's fraudulent and they suck.
Well, I mean, Ryan Day even said it. He said it right. You got to throw that game out the window. That was an outlier. They had Xavier Scott out with a foot ankle injury.
Yes.
And then they had Caleb Patterson, starting safety, was ruled out against them. He was in crutches on a boot. Matthew Bailey, another starting safety, was out with a concussion. Miles Scott was ejected in the game for a targeting penalty. Torrey Cox Jr. suffered a knee injury, and he was out. And then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defensive backs were out. That's crazy. Xavier Scott was an all Big Ten cornerback. And he was out. Like, of course they're going to pass all over that team. And
Indiana probably still wins, but it wouldn't have been nearly as bad. Like, that was bad.
Billy Tuesday's in the house. Thanks for joining us, Billy.
And, you look at since we're talking about defense here, you look at their defensive rankings so far.
94th.
It's the NCAA website says 93rd at 387.5 yards given up a game. Then you got the rush defense is 62nd, 135.2.
Yep.
And then I had passing. Yeah, passing yards allowed. They're one of the worst in the country. They're 111th, 252.3 passing yards allowed a game. So
yeah, I had them at 113. I thought, but either way, I had the same amount of yards, and their scoring defense 24 points per game.
Yeah, so that's the best part of their defense is the score.
But you got to look at it this way too. They did face the third and fourth best scoring offense in USC and Indiana.
Yeah.
So they have played some high-powered offenses. They're going to see another one, depending on what Ohio State does. But, this is hard for me to judge because going into the Washington game, I believe that they were ranked 62nd in passing defense and 9th in rushing defense, and we attacked them on the ground to start off the game. So I'm not really sure what they're going to do. I would hope that they pass to set up the run because I think that's what this offense is going to end up being by the end of the season.
Right.
But I still see Ryan Day. He's trying to look at that broad scope, right? He's looking out of a broad lens, like he said, and sometimes he just wants to attack it the way he wants to attack it to get better at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And this is a game where I think Ohio State can still look at this team as someone that they can just dominate when they want to because of that defense.
Realistically, we should be able to. I mean, especially with how bad their pass defense is. We should be able to exploit a lot of stuff there, kind of like we did with Minnesota, where, you notice on that Carnell Tate play where he went for, 44 yards. They had 5 guys go over towards Jeremiah because we misdirected them, and it left Carnell Tate on a 1-on-1. We should be able to do a lot of that stuff this weekend, I would hope.
Jeremiah Smith's gravitational pull.
Yeah,
brought everyone over. He was like a magnet.
They're like, oh, damn, he's going in motion. Oh, well, we got to get on that. Oh, crap. Carnell Tate's beating his guy 1-on-1. We're screwed. Done.
And that's the exact way that they need to use him as a decoy.
Yeah.
Because that opens up that play for later, too.
I'm still patiently waiting for the arrival of Brandon Ennis in this offense.
Yeah, maybe.
And I'm like, I don't know if it's just because we haven't needed him much or if it's because he's not getting open like he needs to be. He's trending in a way for me like I started trending with Julian Fleming.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that because I feel like Brandon Ennis has a lot more of a skill set. And I just hope it comes out at some point.
I don't know if I like that comparison just because there were so many drop balls by Julian Fleming.
Yeah. And I mean, he was the number 1 receiver in this class, and he just completely did not live up to the billing.
Correct.
And he got injured too, which I get all that. But even when he had his chances to play, it was like no production at all ever. And I just hope that, because obviously Brian Hartline's not a guy who's going to rotate receivers, even though he absolutely should. And like we could be getting guys like Mylan Graham some touches in this offense, or Quincy Porter, guys that we've seen flashes from here and there, that maybe could be helping this offense be even more explosive, and get guys like Carnell Tate open even more so, or Jeremiah open even more so. So only having 2 wide receiver threats, I mean, we're lucky, but I feel like we could have even more than that if we can just get Brandon Ennis unlocked or put somebody else in there that could open up things even more. But I'll be interested to see. I feel like this is a game that we can't afford to, we can't start slow again. Like we got to punch him in the mouth right from the rip. Kind of like Indiana was doing, especially since we're on their soil. Obviously, Illinois lost that game in Bloomington. So that played a part into it as well. Indiana's crowd is, alive and well now that they're a good football team. So, going to Champaign, we've seen what kind of happens in the past when we go to Champaign. We've had some tight games there. Obviously we were supposed to play there in 2020. And unlike the team up north, we didn't have to fake COVID, to duck a game. Kind of just, we had COVID. We were on the airplane ready to go, and then we got told we weren't playing it. So, but it'll be nice to finally play for that Buck trophy again, and we'll just etch another W on the shell.
Well, one more W on that shell. There's been a lot of them in a row.
Yeah.
Taking it back all the way to, what was it, 2007 when we lost that game?
That was the first loss I've ever experienced in the shoe. That was the first loss I ever saw in person. Still get nightmares about that game because, boy, did we crap it away. We crapped it away.
Yeah, and that was a fumble. That was a fumble by Juice Williams, too.
Yeah, didn't stop us from making the natty, but it is what it is. It was a crappy loss for sure.
So, Doug, I got a little bit to say about this. Day is going to lull everyone into thinking they're a run first team, and come playoff time, it'll be pedal to the metal. Well, my problem with that is, why show it against teams like Minnesota, teams like Grambling? Why show off your passing offense if that's your strategy? Doesn't make any sense because you got it on film showing it that you can air it out.
I think we still have a running game yet to be discovered. We discovered a lot more of it with Bo coming in and being running back one now, and that's great. But we still got to get the other two up to snuff to some degree, because we're going to need them in the long run. We can't just run Bo constantly without him getting worn down and potentially, because if he gets hurt, boy, right now it looks like we'll be a little bit screwed in the run game. We kind of need him right now. So
yeah,
I'd like to see that get more up to snuff. It's not going to match the passing game. Our passing game is elite. We got a quarterback who's the only quarterback in college football throwing 80% completion percentage right now. So, that's pretty buttoned up and nice. So we just need to get the run game to match that. So I don't think anybody's looking at Ohio State saying, "Oh, well, they're a run first team." No, they're fairly balanced. I would say like 60-40 pass run, maybe 65-35, something like that. So just got to get it up to snuff.
The closest Day's ever been was last year to a balanced team, really, as far as rushing versus passing.
Honestly, for sure. It would be nice to have one of those running back. We saw at the end of that Minnesota game, we saw Peoples open up a little more.
Starting to turn it on a little bit.
I'd like to see that continue. If he can make himself running back too, that would be pretty great, because I think Bo is just the perfect mix of a power and finesse back. He's got the speed. He's got the elusivity. And obviously he's got like a build and a power to him where he'll lower his helmet and truck you over type of deal. He's like the perfect running back. I swear. He's got the name for one too, obviously. So, no, long time no see.
Back in our life, USC will just.
Hey, listen, Hunter. I just need you to take care of business this weekend. Don't screw it up like you did last year. Skip Bailey, he's in my fantasy football chat. His Oklahoma bias is alive and well. He is grinning from ear to ear that Batir's going to try to play this weekend against Texas.
No way.
And I'm just going to say hook 'em, because I need Texas to not lose another game after that debacle at the Swamp. Because all of a sudden Ohio State hasn't played anybody now because Texas lost the second game. So
let's get back to what Billy Tuesday was saying. Defensively, we need to maintain discipline in our rush lanes like we did against Washington. Altmaier's a serviceable runner, but I'm not fearful of him. Like, he can make you pay, but I'm not fearful of him taking it to the house or anything. So I don't think it's as important, but still, that's always important when you have a quarterback that can run the ball. What I'm more worried about is to see how really we haven't faced a team that's like a power rushing game. Can you think, have any of our opponents really had a power rushing game? And Texas got us a little bit in the beginning of the game, rushing the ball.
I think if we played them again, we would shut them out like we should have the first time.
Yeah, I do too.
We were literally like 4 minutes away from shutting them out anyway.
Yeah.
And they got a touchdown that, if you look at the review, it shouldn't have counted. So, but yeah, they were getting some good chunk runs on us for sure. My main concern is the teams finding some weaknesses in our zone. You saw it on the first drive with Minnesota. They were finding those weaknesses in the zone that Washington did. And obviously we were able to do what we do in the red zone and stop them and hold them to 3, and then they never scored again, which I loved, obviously. But that's what I'm concerned about. It's just the weaknesses in the zone. How can we find a way to minimize that so teams aren't getting those kind of drives on us? Because obviously come November 29th, we're really going to need that. Especially against a power run game, we're going to need to stop those kind of drives. I'm not so worried about, obviously, about the team up north passing on us much, but we're going to need to clog up those lanes and all that good stuff.
Yeah, because Justice Haynes too can take it to the house immediately.
Yeah. And I mean that's been their entire offense for how many years now? Just having running backs hit big plays for touchdowns.
Well blocked.
Yeah, you just gotta minimize that, and you minimize their entire team. Outside of the 1 year, obviously, where JJ picked our secondary apart, but they knew that's easy to do when you know every play that's coming. So,
Doug, this is spot on. The more I think about it, I think this is what's happening. I think they are just playing with their meal before they eat it. They're seeing what they can get away with.
It seems that way.
And in big games, because they need that adversity. They need that.
What did you think about them, Ohio State, showing that punt return thing?
Yeah, the throwback.
Yeah.
I don't know why. What was the necessity for it? That's my key. Like, I don't know why you throw all those things out there. But what Day said was, like, you have all that stuff and you save it that you never get a chance to use it. So let's just do it. Then you got it out there on film, and you could do, a version of it, fake it and take it.
I think we were up 21-3 when we did that. And I had mixed feelings about it. Like, I've seen differentiating opinions, and I get both of them. Like, the side of, why would you show that against Minnesota, especially when the game was pretty much in hand at that point? Minnesota wasn't going to come back on you from 21-3. Why would you show it there? Why wouldn't you wait to use it against an Illinois if you need it? You know what I mean? But I also get, like, hey, you put it on film, yes, but you get the opponent to look at it and go, okay, we got to be ready for that. Yeah. And thankfully against Minnesota, it, was executed well. Obviously we don't want to use it, and then it completely backfires on us, and then we're creating a turnover for ourselves. But yeah, I probably would have waited to use it until this week, not against Minnesota, because maybe we'll need it this week. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But I get both sides of it. I wasn't totally mad about it, but I wasn't totally thrilled about it either. I'm kind of in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, to me, you save those, but if your goal is to get it out there on film because you have something else you want to run on of it, or you want to fake that and try to take it to the house, then that's cool. We'll take it.
I get it. I mean, it's a nice thing to get something going on special teams, because obviously now we have been reminded that we can't trust Jaden Fielding to kick past 50 yards. So we at this point, anything that's past 50 yards of field goal range, go for it. What do you got to lose?
So as far as
you miss the kick, it's going to stay there anyway.
Yep.
So just go for it.
So as far as the running game, Billy, I do think it was nice to see Peoples hit some holes, build some confidence, get his head up, and start, because he needs it. Like, we've said it. It's an emotional game, and it's a momentum type game. When you get that momentum going, you start feeling better. You start getting in a groove. It's like a shooter in basketball, man. You start making buckets, you're going to start doing it. You're going to keep doing it. And you're going to get in that groove, and you're going to be able to hit the hole a little sharper and feel a little bit more confident and go ahead. And, you don't think so much. You just go.
I will say this. Right now, Ohio State's 57th in rushing offense with 171.6 yards per game on the ground. A team that we played already in Texas is 55th. Exactly. And a team that we're going to be playing that supposedly had the best running back duo in the country in Penn State is 52nd with just like almost 4 more yards per game on the ground. So, I mean, we could be a lot worse. And I mean, we're playing a team that's has the 99th best rushing attack in the country this weekend. So there's obviously huge room for improvement in the run game. But with Bo Jackson showing what he can do and knowing the potential that at least Peoples and Donaldson to a point have, it's promising. But obviously, we look back now at Donaldson referring to him and Peoples as Sonic and Knuckles, completely copying the Detroit Lions. And
yeah, I didn't even know that before they said that.
Yeah, it's not looking so hot now. So live up. You either live up to the name monikers or you don't. And right now they're not. So we need him.
Bo is Sonic and Knuckles himself.
Whatever you want to call that. He's like, I don't even know. I don't even know a good comp for that. There you go. We'll call him that for now.
Because he's got it all, man. Just don't run into him. Dude's gonna run you over. But hey, Hunter, I want to give you this. Take care of business, and I will be a happy man. Yes. An absolutely happy man.
We need them. Nebraska failed us miserably. They should have won that game. They failed.
Yep.
We need USC not to fail this year because they had them right where they wanted them last year, and they let them up.
Yep.
So you got to get it taken care of this year, especially when you're 4-1 right now. USC needs this win.
Yeah,
a lot. Honestly, a lot more because obviously the team up north, even though they cheated for 3 years, has had more recent success than USC. So USC and Lincoln Riley especially really need this game, especially after the little remarks of they're going to be a sellout, but it's a sellout because our fans are coming. So USC's got to shut them up.
Yeah, maybe he was pressing because of Bo. I think maybe. I don't really know what the dynamic there was because he was looking good in the spring.
Yeah.
He was looking real good. He was like, he has some electric speed for sure. Electric when he gets the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
And he was missing it because he was too anxious. I'll agree with you with that.
And we got to keep in mind too that, Minnesota, even after playing us, has a top 10 rush defense in the country. And they held Bo to 64 on 13 attempts, and they held Peoples to 7 attempts for 60 yards with the lawn of 33. So, we, against a really great rush defense, that's actually not that bad of a performance in the grand scheme of things. So I think the run game did a pretty good job given who they were going up against. And even Washington, they're 9th in rush defense, and we did pretty solid against them too. So, there's definitely a lot of promise there with Peoples, and obviously we know what Bo's made of already. So, hopefully Donaldson can show some flashes of what he's got, against teams not named Ohio. But we'll see.
Yeah. And we've been talking all about offense. Haven't even mentioned this dynamite defense yet. Dynamite. Really the strength is going to be in Illinois is their offense. But, man, I don't know that they stand a chance against this defense we got, man.
Well, honestly, it's like I mentioned earlier, 99th rush offense. But they do have the 37th pass offense in the country, and their total offense is 64th. So, we saw what you really have to do to limit their offense. If Indiana can do it, why can't this defense? This defense has been doing it all year, and I said it against Washington. I'm like, well, Washington's obviously going to be the first team to hit double digits on us, right? They weren't.
Nope.
And, I'm going to say it again. I think this is going to be the first team to hit double digits on us. But if I look at that score and I'm wrong, I'm going to be very happy about that. So there's a possibility we can hold them under 10. There really is. If we play our game, and like I mentioned earlier, if we tighten up those zones, because obviously this is going to be a great passing offense that we play against here. If we tighten up those zones and don't let them pick us apart to get us into the red zone all game, I think we have a great shot to hold them under 10.
They have a stud receiver, Hank Beatty. He is top 10 in receiving. I mean, he's the 10th. As far as yardage, he has 569 yards.
Yeah, and obviously we know what Altmaier can do.
Averaging 94 yards a game.
Yeah.
Mr. Beatty, he's on fire.
Yeah. So there's a lot to look at here. I mean, obviously we played a better offense in Washington already. So we're not going to see Altmaier scramble like Damon Williams Jr. did. He's going to be more of a passer. So we just gotta keep those zones not so soft, tighten them up a bit, be ready to make plays. And hopefully we get a turnover this week. Like that's the one weakness of this defense is creating turnovers. They have so much capability to create turnovers, and just the last 2 games we haven't.
I'm not sure I care if they're holding people to 5 points per game.
I get it, but especially with games when we started slow, it would be nice to have those extra possessions. You know what I mean? Especially like if you think future wise, there could be a game like against the Penn State maybe, or against a team up north where, we could use those extra possessions just to make sure that we can not be behind in points late or tied late. Because anytime we've been in the fourth quarter with the team up north the last 4 years, down or tied, that's right where they want us. We got to have leads going in the fourth quarter, make them play catch up with us. So if we can get those extra possessions for later in the game, that's just only going to benefit us in the long run. So I just hope we can get like 1 or 2 turnovers this week. I think that'll help us a lot, especially on the road.
I'll take that. 1 or 2 turnovers on the road is always great.
Yeah, that wins us the game with our eyes closed. We can win this game anyway without it, obviously, but we get 1 or 2 turnovers. Good night, Illinois. Sorry, not sorry. Taking the turtle back with us. I do agree with Billy there. Their O-line is, and it's crazy too. Yeah, it's crazy too because they were the number 1 team in the Big Ten for returning starters. Like they
returned all five offensive linemen.
Yeah, like this was a stacked veteran team that was a dark horse, and I do agree with Day. I think the Indiana game was a total outlier. I think Indiana could have still won that game regardless of all the injuries and stuff. But because that was a coin flip game for me before the season, not really knowing what to expect from Indiana coming in. But the score is obviously an outlier. We're not going to beat them that bad. And if we do, great. You're not going to hear me bitch and complain about beating Illinois by that much either. Then they can't. Then nobody can say Miami is better than us, because that's the narrative too right now, that Miami's just there's no team in the country like Miami. Blah 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 blah. As if they aren't gonna. As if they aren't gonna choke to like SMU or something like they always do. You know what I mean? They choke to some team they shouldn't have no business losing to. So,
dude, we want that. We want that locker room material. We want the national pundits to be like, Miami deserves it, and they're creeping up. Every week they get more and more number 1 votes.
All I got to say is, and we know this wholeheartedly being Buckeye fans, it is always Ohio against the world. It always is. It has been for a long time.
Ohio State to be bad.
Yeah, but they prey on it.
There is something completely different about Day this time around. Completely different. He has the confidence to say what he wants to say. He can throw those subtle jokes out, and he's hungry. He's hungry like I've never seen him before. That national title, he got a little sniff of that glue, man, and he's like, I want more. I want some more of that. Dude, it was great.
One of the first things he brought up after winning that natty, outside of, that being only the 9th national title we've ever won and how hard it is, he brought up that no coaches ever went back to back.
Yep.
He wants that so bad, especially like, I got to be honest. I don't think he would want it as bad if he had a winning record against the team up north. I think that's made him hungrier as well.
Sorry, I got just
because he wants to really prove like I got this job because I earned it. Mm-hmm. I had to earn everything I've gotten so far, and just because one game hasn't gone my way every season doesn't define what I can do as a coach. And I think winning that natty just like really reaffirmed him like I can do this. And if we got to look back at that Team Up North game 10 years from now and we got like 3 to 4 more natties and we can point to that being like that was the turning point, fine. I'll give them a little bit of credit for making us lose that day. But I will die on my grave saying that we beat ourselves that entire game.
Oh, we did.
The last 2 years, really. Honestly, we beat ourselves because Dave peed down his leg. So, but I do agree. He's just very loose, very confident, and I think that will go a long way in him and Patricia absolutely embarrassing that team up north this year. Hopefully, I would take a 1-point win at this point, but we'll see. We'll see as it goes on. Still a lot of ball left to play until then, but I don't worry about this game at all. I really don't. I know it's a road environment. It's a place we haven't played in like a decade at this point. But I just don't have like a pit in my stomach like I did going into that Oklahoma game in 2017, like I did against Virginia Tech even a little bit in 2014. I don't have that pit in my stomach right now. I think we have a defense solid enough to win this, even if the offense struggles a bit and starts slow. So yeah. And Matt Patricia, I trust.
Is it because it's Illinois?
No, I mean, listen, Illinois at the end of this, I mean, let me look here. I think I had them going 9-3 this year, if I'm not mistaken. So I already had them as a good team. I think I just had them losing to us, a couple other teams here. Let me bring up their schedule here. Yeah, I had them 9-3, 6-3. I had them losing to us, Washington, and Wisconsin. So if I had to reevaluate now, since it's at Camp Randall, if I had to reevaluate now, obviously they're not losing to Wisconsin unless they absolutely sleep. They lost to Indiana, so you add that. That Washington game going to Washington, I think will be tough for them still. But if they win that, goodness, they could go 10-2, losing us. I mean, they got to play. They got to play at Washington after the bye week. After they play us, they play Rutgers at home, bye week, Maryland at home, at Wisconsin, Northwestern at home. They win out even if they lose to us. That's a potential playoff team still. So this is a really good team, but I don't know. I trust this defense so much more than I have in a long time, and that's saying something when we had the number 1 defense last year. I just trust this defense a lot more. I think it's a lot better.
You should.
Yeah.
This defense is historical, man.
5 points per game allowed.
5.
Like
what?
Like, can you name me the last team through 5 games? That's only, I mean, you can say what you want about the opponents. I mean, the first team we played was the number 1 team in the country. I get they're unranked now, but and a Washington team that's like a top 30 offense, top 35 offense, on the road.
Is that Washington team is they should be ranked now.
They should, but they're not, of course, because they're not an SEC team. If they were an SEC team, they'd be 20th right now.
Oh yeah. Easily.
Yeah, and who do they play this week? Let's see here. They play Rutgers. They play Rutgers this week. So of course they're going to beat Rutgers, be 5-1, and then they're still not going to be ranked because that's just not going to be good enough. We got to put 3 lost Mississippi State or something in there instead of them. So
even after that Ohio State game, they're the 16th ranked offense.
They're a good offense. They're really. We just had the defense and the defensive coordinator to completely make them irrelevant.
I honestly think we're going to hold Illinois under double digits.
I hope you're right because I want to see how long this can go.
I don't think Illinois is going to score a touchdown.
I'll tell you this: if we hold them under 10, the next worry I'll have of that streak being broken is against Penn State, and if we get past Penn State, boy, it might be until the Big Ten title game. Because Oregon has to score over 10 on us if we play them in Indy. They have to.
I think Oregon's going to lose to Indiana. I think Indiana's going to pull that.
That is a very interesting game. It's at Oregon.
If Indiana wins this,
boy, if Indiana wins that,
what are they ranked?
They are ranked. I think they're like
no. What would they be ranked?
Well, let me see what they're at right now.
Yeah.
They're 7th now. Okay, I was right. And Oregon's 3rd. You would you'd almost have to flip flop them.
Yeah, because they're not
Indiana would
not jumping Miami, which they should, but they're not going to.
Boy, and if you would have told me 5 years ago Indiana would be a top 5 team in the country at any given point, I would have been like,
yeah, right.
What are you high on, sir?
What
like
world are we in?
Are we talking about the video game? Because I could see it then. You can rig the results in your favor there.
Did they just go dynasty mode with Kurt Signetti?
Yeah. It'll be very interesting to see what Indiana does there. That's gonna affect, because if Indiana does win that game, they're in the driver's seat to go to Indy.
Oh yeah.
Because at this point, after what we saw against Penn State, which we haven't even talked about that yet, I think they could go to Happy Valley and beat Penn State. And if they do that, boy, 12-0 is looking pretty likely for that team. And that would be insane. So
the media frenzy in Bloomington would be out of this world.
They're calling this game between Oregon and Indiana the Cleveland Brown Quarterback Invitational. Whoever wins is who the Browns are going to draft next year. Because, they need more quarterbacks.
They might draft them
drafting. Both. They need to keep drafting quarterbacks. That's what they'll do. Them both.
So, their new thing is we're going to take 2 quarterbacks every year and see which one pans out.
Yeah.
And then none of them will.
I hate them, but they should have kept Baker.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah, well, the way he's playing now.
Yeah.
But let's talk more about this defense.
Yeah.
Arvell Reese said he likes being a spy, which is not something that I thought was going to come out of his mouth, because you don't get as much opportunity unless the quarterback is running to make those tackles. It kind of puts you back a little bit. But I can see how he likes it. It's a challenge for him.
I see the mentality to it, of course, because you're like, okay, I'm the hit man at this point, and I have to be a heat-seeking missile towards my target if he decides to get out of his pocket there. And I think he feeds off of that. He's like, oh, if that quarterback dares run, goodbye, dude. I got you. Like, every single time I got you. So I just love how his mind works. I love how his play is. It's stuff that I hoped would pan out before the season when I was glazing the guy. And God, I wish we could convince him to stay. And I wish we could convince him to stay for next year too, because I would be so happy to have him on the defense next year. Because I think I said it preseason, I think 2026 is the year we can win the Natty. And especially if we win this year, boy, it'll be interesting to see if Day can talk some of those players to stay another year that can, to be like, hey, you could go for a 3-peat. You know what I mean? So,
you know what was interesting about that, talking about that 3-peat? That's what Jeremiah Smith said after that first national title.
Yeah.
Last year.
He had to correct himself too. He said, one down, 3 to go. Yeah, he said 1 down, 3 to go, and then he goes, 2 to go. He's like, I'm not staying 4 years. I know where I'm going after junior year. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice to be able to convince a Caleb Downs and Arvell Reese to stay, anybody who can stay. But yeah, they're already like, I what's his name? What's his
Mel
Todd
Kiper?
McShay?
Yeah.
He's already saying Arvo Reese is looking like a top 10 pick. That narrative's starting to come out now, and they're right. If he keeps playing like that, oh yeah, he's a top 10 pick easy.
Well, you know what the kind of thoughts are now? If Kenyatta Jackson doesn't come back this game, Arvo Reese has a chance at going down to play defensive end and bringing in some linebackers because there's those red shirts that they don't want to burn. But I don't think that. I honestly don't think that they'll need to do that. And sometimes you just don't mess with excellence.
Yeah,
they have enough linebackers.
So you would, well, I get because the D line depth has been a concern, obviously. So you would probably put Peyton Pierce in there.
Well, Peyton Pierce will probably be in anyway because this is more of a running team, so they'll probably have more 3 linebacker sets. So you put Riley Pettijohn in there, and he's been showing.
I don't hate it.
Yeah,
we do need Kenyatta healthy,
so, but I think they just go with Bo Atkinson.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't quite panned out the way I'd hoped, but he serviceable enough.
I think because Caden Curry's just been an absolute beast.
Yeah,
that's
thank
why.
God. God bless that kid. Yeah, I've been waiting for him to come out.
Dude, I loved his motor last year. Absolutely loved it. It's just like you have those 2 defensive ends that you're not going to take those guys off the field.
I get it, but
Kenyatta Jackson and Caden Curry, they needed some more time. It's just it's one of those things. Was like our backups are as good as our starters last year.
By the way, you probably saw it, but was it Peyton Pierce that just talked about Matt Patricia like a day or 2 ago? Was it him?
Yep.
And boy, we talked about it before, how these players have just been talking about how awesome Patricia is and how he never heard it about Knowles. And then Peyton Pierce comes out and says, I talked to Matt Patricia more in the first couple days he was here than I ever did our old defensive coordinator. Didn't even name him by name.
Yep.
People, anybody who's doubted this entire time that we upgraded, when people like me, and I think even you said it when we hired him, that we upgraded at defensive coordinator. Anybody who's doubting it, did you ever hear the players say one good thing about Knowles? I can't recall.
No. A lot of them deflected initially.
Yeah. They would just be
didn't want to talk about it really.
Yeah, they just brush it off.
Wish them good luck. And
and now these players, they're just like, this guy he teaches us so much. He cares. He's engaging. He's engaging with us. He's making it a point to come to us and teach us. And he's creating those bonds and that trust, and the results on the field. It's it's 1 + 1 = 2 type stuff. It's that elementary, that easy.
Well, I think it was just the perfect case scenario too, because you had Matt Patricia sitting out, itching to get back into football, just itching and spending all that time reflecting on what had happened before, what he loves about the game of football. And then they bring him back into an area where he's like, yeah, my parents were both educators. I look at this as an opportunity to kind of bring along young men. And that's what he's doing. He's getting there, being a role model, a guy that they can talk to, a guy that they can look up to, a guy that they can communicate with better. And that, dude, those bonds are, lifetime bonds.
I gotta tell you,
doing it the right way.
I think we're gonna benefit highly from the fact that college football is more NFL like now, and how you see the fans, they had those that big foam pencil and stuff. He's got his own little fan club now amongst the fan base. I think we're going to benefit from these things when it comes to trying to retain him, because obviously there's probably a part of him that's I want to get back to the NFL. I know I've won Super Bowls in the NFL as a DC. I know I can be an NFL DC still. But I think he's quickly fallen in love with Columbus and Ohio State.
He is.
And I think if we can get the right price tag to keep him, we can have him for years to come. And if we do that.
Well, do you remember what he was saying? Like when he was like, "This atmosphere is different. The crowd is different in college football. The band being there." And then he was like, when we were traveling to Washington, he was like, I hope the red wave shows up. I can't remember what exactly he said. I hope the Buckeyes travel." And the Buckeyes traveled.
He saw firsthand.
So that's what I wanted to get some access to him to be like, what did you think about the Buckeyes on the first road trip? Like the traveling that they did. What did you think about all that red that you saw in Husky Stadium? Because being there, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. And it's stuff that we know because we've seen it so many times. We go to stadiums and we take them over. It's what we do. Like we did it against Notre Dame. We've done it against the team up north before where we get an OHIO chant going around their stadium. Like it's what we do. But for a guy like Matt Patricia, who's never been around it, you got to see that as him and go, as much as I want to go back to the NFL, I could be the best defensive coordinator in college football and just help this program win title after title after title. Like there's something here. He could end up winning 3 natties as a defensive coordinator. And God, that would be the greatest thing of all time for all of us here in Buckeye Nation, if that were to happen. But obviously the biggest thing for me is for Matt Patricia is when he becomes the reason we beat the team up north for the first time since 2019.
Yeah.
That would be poetic in so many ways, so many important ways. Ryan Day hires this guy. The hire gets laughed at by any Wolverine and Spartan fan known to man because, he sucked as the Lions head coach, so he's going to suck as your DC. And he's the reason that fraudulent losing streak ends. And hopefully a new wave of domination over that team starts. And then, of course, we'll just bully the crap out of Sparty. So who cares? That'll be like lifting a number 2 pencil as a weight. Matt Patricia's into that. So, yeah, it's like I can't wait to see him be the reason why we beat that team. Just can't wait. And at that point, legend. Stamp it.
Dude, you're jumping so far ahead with it. Michigan talk already.
It's in my head all the time. I need it. I need to beat them so bad because I have over 5 years of crap I have to talk.
Yeah.
Over 5 years. And it's bottling up, man.
It is time.
It's driving me nuts. So.
But before that, I really will. I want to see this team hit on all cylinders. So by that, I mean, I want to stuff the run on defense, make sure we lock that up because they have Fagan and he's a big dude. He's a big power back. He's averaging 4 yards a carry, got 16 yards on the ground. 5 touchdowns. So he's the kind of short yardage back more than anything. And then they have the Valentine dude who's got 5.3 yards a carry, which is pretty good numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get 4 and 5 yards a carry, you take that every day of the week.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you get that, but you're like the 99th total rushing offense in the country. There's still like a lull there. The only thing I see being a problem, like I said before, is just the soft coverages in the zone getting picked apart here and there.
I'm not worried about that.
I think if we limit that, obviously their first drive, they'll probably go boop, 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 get in the red zone. And hopefully we just do what we do and stuff them, hold them to 3. And then we'll be like, okay, we know what they're pretty much going to do all game. Now let's go and do what we're supposed to do. And walk out of there with a dub. I'm not concerned.
I need the offense. Just put together a full game. Go down there, use the pass, set up the run, at least for the first 2 drives.
Yeah.
Then run it all you want.
Yeah. I mean, we almost did against Minnesota if it's weren't for that missed field goal. You know what I mean? obviously now we've kind of learned, okay, we can't trust fielding from 50 plus. We got to just go for it there. We have the skill players to do it. Let's just drop our nuts and do it. And, go from there. But I mean, that Minnesota game was pretty much the most complete game we played all year by a lot. So,
but it was also Minnesota. I want to see this on the road against a more quality team. The problem with this is we go down there and we beat them. They're not ranked anymore.
Yeah, of course. They'll drop them off like they always do. But and like PJ Fleck said, he's like, that's the best defense I've seen in 13 years. Yeah, I feel like PJ Fleck always says something like that after a humbling loss to an opponent. But just listening to him, I think he really meant it. And I think that's going to be the real big thing that drives us is that defense, man. Like I said, if Illinois doesn't score double digits on us and Penn State doesn't, I don't know if anybody's going to. I really don't.
I gotta ask this, and I want to see what you guys think. What do you think Ryan Day was thinking when he was watching that scoreboard when Penn State was losing to UCLA?
I think it was another reminder.
Yeah.
It was another reminder. I mean, it probably made him think of last November.
Yeah.
And he, it's like it goes to show you got to bring it. Like he said, you got to bring it every game. Like you can't fall asleep at the wheel. You just got to bring it every single game, no matter who the opponent is, because obviously this is the 5th time, like I think ever, that a top team like that, top 10 team, lost to a team that's 0-4 or worse in college football history.
Yep.
Like that just doesn't happen. And even worse, what made it even worse was the OC that knew Heisel basically admitting out loud, like, yeah, there was a lot of times Nico called his own play because I forgot to, flip my thing down and turn the channel to talk to the quarterback. So he and I'm like, wow. So you not only got beat by a winless team that was really bad at football.
They were playing backyard football,
but they were basically just making it up as they went, and you couldn't stop it. Boy, like you talk about career altering lot, like, and James Franklin isn't going to respond to this like Ryan Day did to his worst loss of his career last November. This probably is just going to make Penn State snowball. They're not beating us.
That was where my mind went. Actually, a little bit different though. My mind went to Ryan Day's like, this is going to make this a lot harder when Penn State travels to Ohio State because it's a must-win game now.
Yeah,
they have to win it. They have to win it for Franklin. They have to win it for the playoffs. They have to win it just for media not jumping all over their back.
Yeah.
It'd be like if Ohio State lost to Tennessee in that playoff game. That's what it's going to mean to Franklin. They have to win it. They have to win out. For his sake, for the program's sake.
Boy, if we play defense like we have been, I don't see how they're scoring enough to beat us either. I really don't. I don't fear Penn State.
This is one of the other things about Day that I'm starting to write these down because he got that national title and now he's throwing out these quotes. Like these are all going to be Day-isms pretty soon. When you think you got it, you get it. Great quote.
There was, and I mentioned this before, there was a time where it just seemed like Day wasn't really receptive to bringing people around the program and taking learnings from anybody. And then all of a sudden we started seeing him bring Tressel around, and obviously Urban's been there in the shadows, talking to him, and he started bringing around like former players like Maurice and stuff like that. And I think he's taken all these little lessons that have piled up. And I think he, and I don't want to get ahead of myself because then if I see him lay an egg on November 29th, I'm right back to square one with him. But I think he's finally got it. It's finally all clicked.
Yeah.
And boy, I'm hoping it has. I hope in 5 years I get to say 3-4 time national champion Ryan Day.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I get to say something like that because, man, he could he has a real good shot with the way this program is right now to equal at least Woody Hayes and Natty's.
It's built.
It's built.
Yeah.
He just has to get it there. And there's the potential's there. Like college football right now with how wide open it is and how all of a sudden you're seeing teams that were dominating the sport be not so great. I saw a podcast today saying, if Ryan Day does this right and he starts beating the Wolverines again every year and gets more natties, he could be not just like the new Kirby Smart of the sport. He could be the next Nick Saban. And I'm like, pump the brakes on that. I want it. I want it so bad. I can't put it into words how bad I want that. But we got one. Now let's get another. And then get another. And then we can start going, okay.
Let's start talking about that after 2 at least.
Yeah, maybe that guy that we kept making fun of, and maybe that guy that Wolverine fans said, please sign to a lifetime contract. Maybe they don't want that so much anymore. That's where I want to get. I want them to start fearing who we have as a coach again, because those were great times when we had a coach that they dreaded facing. So,
yep.
So we can get back to that for sure.
Let's get back to Illinois. Look at the yards they're giving up so far. 438 to Duke.
And to be 4-1.
579 to Indiana. 490 to USC. Yeah, all this, like, these teams are decent teams. But then you get down to Purdue. This is just a bad defense. 453 yards to Purdue.
Which is shocking because I honestly thought that they would be a good defense. I really did. Oh, they're 5-1. So yeah, to be 5-1, and they didn't obviously put the Western Illinois game or the Western Michigan game on there. The defense looked great in both of those games, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And even against Duke, they only let up 19 points, but with all those yards like you put up there,
Billy,
that is pretty bad. But then, of course, Indiana tore them up. USC kind of tore them up a lot too, and then Purdue put 27 on them. Like
27 for Purdue. That's a bad team.
43-27 that game was.
All right, Billy. Tougher to build a dynasty now with the current recruiting landscape. Yeah, absolutely. But the way the Buckeyes are recruiting is different than everyone else.
We're doing it at a level that you can only say like maybe a few teams are doing it. Like
they're thinking they have a different approach.
Yeah.
They're getting the right guys that aren't going to leave. And you're going to see this more. More teams are going to start to emulate Ohio State because you don't want the people that you put in your program that you spend all this time on, that you've built up, that you know are going to contribute. You don't want those guys leaving.
Yeah.
You can't have those guys leave. And exiting Ohio State through the transfer portal is not something that's happening, not at least for guys that are the best of the best.
And now you got one transfer window. They changed that. Now you got that one transfer.
January 2nd through the
16th, 19th, something like that. Yeah, you only got that one window now. So that's going to be real interesting too, given the fact that that's during playoff time.
Yeah, which is actually terrible for Ohio State.
Could be.
Unless you playoffs.
Unless you got players that are just so bought in to the program that they trust the process. I mean, we knew that Devin Brown was in the portal in that playoff run, but he was still allowed to play because he, hadn't done whatever to be ineligible to play for us. So, I mean, there's ways to do it, but obviously by that, and the window closes like right before the Natty. So at that point, it's like, that you got one game left anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, people haven't announced if they're going pro, if they're going to stay. Like if you have Arvell Reese, for instance, if you talk him into coming back somehow after a national title,
God, I would love that.
That's a place where you might have to fill with a portal. I don't think Ohio State does, just because they're stacked at linebacker right now. But
yeah, and we've done pretty solid in the portal. So I mean, Ohio State also tends to avoid red flag players, like players that we see go somewhere else and we look back at and go, boy, we dodged a bullet there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like some of these quarterbacks that we've had in recent history that went elsewhere, we were like, oh, looks like we got the better end of the deal by that guy leaving or flipping his recruitment, you know. Then there's like other players like that Mark Fletcher who we had him recruited, then Miami dropped the bag, and now he's doing great at Miami, of course.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, yeah, but you know, mostly we've done pretty good in that area. So I'm not concerned.
All right.
I think we can build a dynasty, honestly.
What is the over-under for this game?
Let's see here. Ohio State. I want to say it's like 17. It's currently 14.5. Obviously, Ohio State's favored. The over-under is 55.5.
14.5. Over-under is 55.5.
Yep. So if it's the
score,
I was just saying, if it's the score, I think it's going to be, it's under. Yeah. Just barely, but it's under.
I think it's like 33 to.
That's such a weird number.
6.
33. I have it 38-14. Like I said, I'm going to say it again. I think this is going to be the first team that hits double digits on us. But I beg to be wrong. I would love to be wrong about that.
That would be a lot of field goals for it to be 33. So probably
show me again that you can hold another team under 10 points. Keep showing me that, because we won't lose the game if we keep holding teams under 10. Period. So
yeah,
keep it going. Keep it going.
Make it 30. I should make it 34-6.
That's fair. Yeah. I hope your score's right.
What did you say? What do you think it is again?
38-14.
38-14. So you got them scoring 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
They've only given up 2 touchdowns on the year.
Yeah, and I think that's simply because of the fact that they're a good passing offense. They'll find some soft zones in there, maybe hit us for one deep that maybe we miss a tackle on, and you know. But I think we won't let up a red zone touchdown, if that makes you feel better.
Yeah, and we won't let up a rushing touchdown still on the year.
Yep. So I think those two stay intact. I think they just maybe get us a couple times in the air on some plays that we don't fully see coming. But again, I would love to be wrong. Please hold them under 10. Shut them out. Yeah. I'll take under 10 though. I'll take another 6 all day. I'll take another 6 points given up. What's that to me, you know?
That'll actually increase our average a little bit.
Yeah, Doug said it too. If they get 6, that'll be above the average given up.
Oh,
yeah, that'll inflate that number a little bit. Unfortunately, that'll suck.
Like 5.2 again.
Yeah, 5.2. Woo. Listen, I dreamed of seeing an Ohio State defense do something like this, where they just game after game they hold their opponents under 10 points, stifle them, make them live in hell for 4 quarters, not knowing what the hell to do. That quarterback from Minnesota looked pretty confident after that first drive, and then after that, he looked like he was lost. Whoops. So I pray that keeps going as long as it possibly can. I know when we get to face the Oregons of the world that it's not going to be that simple. And you know, but
or the Indianas.
If we play them, if we play them.
What's the over under on that game? Or what's the spread?
Boy, I bet you that's a high over under. Oregon, Indiana odds. The over under's the over under's 54.5, so it's less than ours. Wow. And the Ducks are favored by 7.5.
7.5. I'm taking Indiana in that. I might take them straight up.
I'm saying Oregon just because it's at Autzen. I don't know if Indiana is equipped to handle Autzen. We weren't. We were close, but we weren't even. So I I just can't see Indiana winning there. I could see them winning at Happy Valley though, just because the morale will be so low by that point. Because I think we play them before they do. Indiana. Let me look at their schedule quick. Or Penn State. Let me look at Penn State's here. Yeah, they play us and then Indiana in back-to-back weeks. So after we beat them, their morale will be so low in Happy Valley that Indiana could just go in there and beat Penn State. They could.
Dude, that's going to be the ultimate. Like if Indiana can do that, my goodness.
Especially with after the entire preseason where we heard Penn State has the formula that the last two natty champs did. They got all that veteran talent back. They got a veteran, they got a QB in there, whether it was homegrown or through the transfer portal. That's so good. And they got the wide receivers they needed that they didn't have before. They stole Ohio State's defensive coordinator, who's so good. Yeah.
Wow.
Boy, if they're a 4-loss team or so at the end of this, boy, you'll look back at that in 20 plus years, and that'll be one of the biggest catastrophic failures for a team.
It was their chance for a natty. This was their year,
and they wouldn't even make the playoffs when they made the semis last year, and they screwed themselves out of making it to the natty.
Yep.
Boy, I'd hate to be James Franklin right now. I really would. Doug, it could be. It could be. Unless
that would be awesome. There's some good games this weekend.
We're going to learn a lot about Indiana's defense in this game.
Michigan,
I'm intrigued. Yeah.
What is the point spread for that?
Oh, that's got to be low. That's got to be low USC odds. The Trojans are 2.5 point favorite, and the over/under is 56.5. I think that's an under. I know USC's defense is like, but that's probably like a low 20s game for both, I think. Or at worst, like a 28-24. I think that's what it was last year.
USC scores a lot of points.
I'm more confident in USC's quarterback than I am Team Up North, and that's not rivalry hate. I think that Maeva is just a better quarterback overall. And he's in a system where quarterbacks thrive, whereas obviously, and even Bryce Underwood said this before he flipped his commitment because he got a lot of money put in front of him, which is, yes, Wolverine's the only reason why he's with you. Let's just put that out there again because you seem to think otherwise. Bryce Underwood is at a place where QBs aren't getting developed very well. And yeah, you can go ahead and say, oh, well, J.J. McCarthy was a top 10 pick. Yeah, well, the Vikings are dumb. He should have never been drafted that high. He was never worth a top 10 pick or a first round pick for that matter. You could have gotten him probably easily in the third round. So,
dude, this is a weekend for football. Alabama, Missouri.
It is. We've been getting spoiled for a while.
Even the Pittsburgh Florida State game will be a good one to watch. And the Oklahoma, Texas, of course, that's an always watch.
Boy, that Florida State game, those Miami fans are really holding on to beating them, even though they like barely beat them, saying that that's one of their like best wins. And I'm like, boy, if they lose to like Pitt or something, all of a sudden that team that beat Alabama doesn't look so good anymore.
BYU, Arizona could be a decent game. Arizona State, Utah could be a good game.
Oh, damn, the Eagles are getting shafted right now. Holy crap. Let me see. Let me look.
It'd be interesting to watch Florida at A&M just to see if Florida finally found something.
I want to say South Carolina and LSU could be good, but I don't really know what to think about South Carolina anymore.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, NC State.
Sellers isn't hurt anymore, is he?
I don't know. Red River Rivalry, of course, this weekend. So that's always a fun one to watch. Go Longhorns in that one.
This is crazy.
Yeah, I want to start seeing some of these other teams that are undefeated, not named Ohio State, fall.
I'm going to have to tell my secretary to clear my schedule for Saturday.
Yeah. Thankfully, we get our win out of the way early. And And by the way, that North Texas, South Florida game, don't overlook that one just because it's not like that's a pretty key game for the potential group of 5 playoff entry right there. I mean, obviously Memphis is in the driver's seat right now, but if they end up slipping that South Florida with one loss, they could. They need to keep winning games, and North Texas is a conference opponent that's 5-0 right now, so that'll be a big win for them if they can get it.
There's a game going right now, isn't there? College football game. Who is it they're playing? Is it a Sun Belt game?
I believe so.
Is MACtion not starting until November?
We got Georgia Southern versus Southern Miss right now, and Jacksonville State versus Sam Houston State right now.
Right.
They had some teams play yesterday too. Tulane, East Carolina, Kennesaw State, Louisiana Tech. Which, by the way, Kennesaw State, that was a team that joined the FBS last year, and everybody was like, "Oh, this is going to be an 0-12 program." And I think they weren't that great. I think they won like 1 or 2 games. This year they're 4-2. Yeah, it's a good improvement for them. And then Liberty, UTEP, and Missouri State, Middle Tennessee State last night as well. So
football all around, baby. All right. Well,
yep. We only care about Saturday right now because that's where all the good games are going to be.
We've got our picks in. No. I'm going 34-6.
I'm going 38-14. I want to be wrong,
but we're each going to OH, baby. Let's get it going. All right.
Let's go.
Well, Buckeye backers, thank you for joining us. As always, get in that locker room. We will be giving you out a hat. I think Billy Tuesday, as long as you keep those good comments coming, by Saturday, our morning after show, if you're in there with some good ass comments like you've been given, you're going to be a member of the locker room, buddy. We're going to take that black stripe off, send you out a hat.
Put them in the locker room, baby. Take his black stripe off.
Because, it's going to be beneficial because we're getting our website going. College football backers is cfbackers.com. And we're going to have the message boards in there soon. So if you're a member of the locker room, you automatically get a free membership to that message board. So, and it'll be good. I promise you. We got a great web developer. If you like articles, go check it out. We were talking about Group of 5 earlier. There is a guy that does Group of 5 articles every week. Kind of gives you a breakdown of what teams are going to make it, what teams have a chance. And that's TJ Chapman. He's a great writer for us. Go check it out.
TJ. Good
College
guy.
football backers. We post it all on social media too. So if you just want to get it on there, follow us on X or on Facebook, whatever you like, check it out, man. College football backers. Anyway, thank you all for joining us. Have a blessed day. God bless.
Go Bucks.
Backers are out. Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.